Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Siti Safura binti Khairil Azmin. So today I want to talk about the topic teaching and learning issues in Malaysia. So the first is about the content, which is in the slide. There are three content that I want to share with you. The first is introduction about teaching and learning issues in Malaysia. The second is about explanation about the topic, and the third one is challenge in service delivery implementation. So this is the first slide. This is about introduction. Okay, a teacher as a facilitator in the classroom is a guider for helping the children to learn the basic things. So basically here is about teaching. Teaching is like you be a facilitator in the class, also you are a guider in the classroom. For example, the children want to go to the playground, so you need to guide the child to go to the playground, but step by step lah. So the first is, of course, the children need to line up, and the children need to wear the shoes, and the teacher need to walk in front of the child, and the child is follow the teacher to go to the playground. Okay, meanwhile, children in the classroom is a learner who need to be a good listener, give a good cooperation during activity and class session. It means that the children need to follow what the facilitator said, and the child is a active learner, which is the child will receive the knowledge and try to apply it at home. So, for example, when the children learn the new things at the school, so the child will go to the home and then try to apply it in front of their parents. From my experience, which is I teach the child to do the play-doh using cornstarch and uh, food coloring. And then her mother told me that their child is trying to do the donut in front of her. So that was exciting, isn't it? Okay, so this is the second slide, which is about explanation about the topic teaching and learning. So for the first point that I want to focus on is about formal preschool. Formal preschool is mean that the teacher give the worksheet before the class starting. For example, for from my previous experience during the practical, before this class session is starting, the teacher just giving the worksheet to the children, and the children do the worksheet in the early morning. So it's kind of uh, make the children more sleeper and feeling bored because it doesn't excite the environment. And then the second example is children already memorize the activity that they're gonna do in the class. So for example, here I want to talk about the daily routine. So during my previous practical too, I asked the children, okay, during the class session, what did you guys do? And then the children just told me that we used to do the same things, kind of like doing the worksheet, just playing in the play-doh and writing and reading. Okay, that's for the formal preschool. And then the second point is about meaningful exploration is less. It means the children didn't exposed to do the outdoor activity. For example, go for a walk in nature, or do the messy play, and also they doesn't do the experiment during the science subject. Okay, okay. Third point is about not use active learning. Active learning is about you recall the things that you have learned that subject lah, during the subject. For example, I recap the lesson plan that I do with the children, and then I show to them how what activity that we used to do today. Okay, so this is the example for the topic that I found from the website. The first is about two kindergarten doesn't register. It means that the kindergarten or preschool doesn't have the name, or they just open the kindergarten without the permission of KKM or something else. And then the second is pendidikan awal kanak-kanak diberi penekanan. Okay, here is we can see that the children is being pushed to understand what they have learned at school. For example, okay, uh, basically parents want their children to be able to read, to write, and something else. Okay, this is the discussion. Okay, the first point is involve active learning. Here is about how the children involve the learning during the class session. Involved active learning is about the participation of the child into the something that teacher want the child to involve, and the teacher need to make sure that all the children in the classroom is involved when teacher asks the question and something else. But make the fun learning activity, because the children will feel bored if the teacher just use the traditional teaching session. And the second is child directed, which means the teacher need to give the involvement to the children, and also teacher need to encourage the children to talk, to participate when doing the activity, and make sure that the children volunteer, make sure every children participate. Because when, for example, when one person doesn't participate, they will feel like, oh, the teacher doesn't want me to go in front and do this thing. And the third point is learning through play best. So for example, uh, during my previous practical, there are no learning play-based activity. So I think it's kind of bored for children, because they doesn't have outdoor activity during the class session. So I try to pick a time to do the science activity, outdoor activity with the children, and then the children really excited about it, and then they understand what I teach. Okay, so this is the third uh, third slide, which is challenge, service delivery, and implementation. The first point I want to focus is not undergone any formal training. It means that the teacher doesn't have a qualification in somehow in diploma or in degree, because when the teacher doesn't go deeply through ECE, so the teacher just use method that they know. For example, okay, teacher just writing at the board, and then the children write in their book. Okay, that's the first thing that I understand. And then the second is teacher will randomly teach the children using the flashcard as usual. So that was the things that I see. Okay, The second point here is focusing more on academic. It means the children doesn't get exposed to go to do the outside activity. For example, walking nature. Okay. Uh, for example, okay. When I bring the child go to outside the classroom. Okay. I want you to told me what you hear outside the environment. For example, the kids from A say, I hear the bird is chirp and the cat is meow. And then I hear the aeroplane. See the aeroplane. Okay. And then the third point here is learn in traditional way. It means the teacher use the same method like previous. I just say that. Uh, right at the chalk, right at the board, and then the children is writing their book. So solution. This is the solution for the issue. First point, we have hands-on playful learning. It means that children can use their hand and eye coordination to do the activity. So, for example, teacher need to create a good lesson plan and need to create a creative lesson plan to make sure the children is really like and understood what you teach. And the second point is active exploration. It means that the teacher need to encourage and expose more to the children to do the fun activity. For example, sensory activity, uh, go outside and doing the messy play or doing the experiment. For example, volcano experiment, doing the play-doh experiment, slime experiment. Okay, and the last point here is develop children interest. It means the teacher need to understand what the child like, and then you can also ask the children. Okay, today, did you understand what you learned today? What you doesn't like and what you like when I teach. Also, teacher need to make sure the lesson plan that teacher use is affordable and able for the children. Make sure that the lesson plan is able and good. And the conclusion. Okay, conclusion. Now, let's get out and create opportunity to create more fun activity for children. Because the children during at their age, they need to explore more and try to do new things more, because from there they learn how to do the things greatly, and then we can make the better place for children, and we need to help each other on improve the school environment. It means that uh, during teaching and learning session, we need to make sure that some we create a lesson plan with more fun activities and make sure the children is like, and we can improve it. That's all from me. Thank you.